to the tribe, peace to the collective. I just got a real quick message on spirituality and happiness. I feel as though many people do not make the dots on, or connect the dots rather, on the distance or the relationship between spiritual development and happiness. So I was doing some channeling, doing some meditation while I was working out with Pambajira, and the message was like, I'm paraphrasing, it was something like, people generally want to be happy based upon external things. So career, money, nice house, nice car, nice clothes, nice family, smart, that type of deal. Respect from other people, people patting you on the ass, patting you on the back, saying, good job, Tommy, good job, Pam. That's what people find happiness in. The only problem with that theory is that if you do not get the pats on the back, if you don't have the money, if you don't have any of the things that you are requiring to make you happy, then the thing is, unequivocally, without a shadow of a doubt, your ass is not happy. And the reason is, there's really only one way to find happiness, and that is discovering it within yourself. So discovering it within yourself can only be found one way, through sex. So Pambajira said, the best advice to give young women is to stay virgins until they get married. Now, whether or not you worded that or whatever, she have a solution for people. She said, like, most women not going to be virgins till they get married, and that's why they need me the most, because they don't know how to love a man. They only love the first man that they was actually with, because the first man that they was with, they didn't compare him to no other man, at least sexually. So the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th, now you have a whole catalog of penises to compare and contrast against, to which the man that you're actually with, whether he's a good man or a bad man, you wouldn't know the fucking difference, because you just comparing and contrasting all the time. So always the best advice is to not have sex until you get married. Even if the marriage don't work out, don't make it, well, what if the marriage don't work out? Who cares, right? At least do that first. And if the marriage don't work out, then become a hoe. But don't become a hoe first and then try to get into a long-term relationship. The logic is backwards. Now, the reason that she brought this up is because she was saying that most women that I'm gonna come in contact with through my ministry have already had sex, have already had partners, and yet they getting scammed by every bitch with a head wrap talking about spirituality, but you're not able to find nothing of satisfaction through being around women talking about spirituality. The only way that a woman is going to find happiness is within herself, and within yourself maybe be a mode of meditation. Possibly could be meditation, but most definitely, without a shadow of a doubt, unequivocally, happiness is found in sex. Now, why should you be a virgin and marry the same dude? Because if you don't have a consistent sexual partner, then you're not able to sustain that inner feeling. Now you're using vibrators, roses, all of this type of weird shit. But what really you want is a long-term relationship with the man, right? So whatever you can disagree, but if you study psychology, money, houses, cars, these are secondary things that the Matrix has placed before you, that now, because it's here, you fixated on it. But if you was in a village in Tanzania that didn't have no money, your basic biological need wouldn't be money, because it wouldn't exist. Your basic biological need would then be internally, sexually. So Pamba was basically saying that women are looking for everything else to make them happy. Even more so, they hate men so much, right? Because nobody is telling a woman, nobody told you, don't have sex until you get married. And even if they did tell you, you didn't give a fuck. You was fucking your boyfriend soon as, right? And now you juggling, maintaining, got niggas in your DMs. So when it comes to understanding what the fuck I'm actually talking about, nobody has ever sat your ass down and said, look, Cindy, you got to do it this way, right? Because then maybe you had a dad in your life who was trying to teach you some shit, but you said, hey, everybody that's out here fucking and sucking, guess what? They got a dad. And they ain't thinking like, what would my dad think about that? They don't give a fuck, right? So literally, the Matrix have conditioned everybody to just fuck haphazardly, have sex haphazardly. But what's the big deal? If people are having sex haphazardly and sex is the gateway to happiness, then nobody is actually happy if you're in a relationship with somebody who doesn't value you for the rest of your life. And then when you actually are having sex with a man, and say for instance, he hasn't had the biggest dick that you ever had or the best sex that you ever had, you will treat that man secondary tier, even though he is the man present in your life. So all of this to say, what is the solution? One has to develop spiritual development, period, point blank. I just a name that's popping up in my head. It ain't even nothing personal. Nothing personal. You know, I tend to do that sometimes. People would DM me like, man, my name's Jermaine. So I felt like you was actually channeling me. I don't know why I keep pausing. I cut it back on 5G. Maybe it's a little better. So basically, we're talking about sex, we're talking about spirituality, and we're talking about long-term relationships. Because, yeah, you may or may not be single and have consistent sex that reaches the liking, but 10 times out of 10, if you ever was to be honest, you can't actually love the man the same way that you would when you first loved a man. Like, in the way that women love you when you are younger is different from when they turn 50 and they done been around a block a few times. Now all of a sudden, right, a nigga do you wrong, what's she gonna say? I know how men are. No, you don't know how men are. You have not been told the sacred science of happiness, and happiness comes from within. Happiness comes from within. So now you have a whole generation of women that try to be successful because they live in this matrix. And then successful don't pan out. They go into spirituality. But the spirituality is helping you become more successful. So Papa Jared told me, until spirituality brings women into a multi-orgasmic state. Listen, when a woman first deal with you as a man, now I'm talking to the men in this day and age, you go and deal with a woman that has to sync up with you sexually. Because if she don't sync up with you sexually, she's not going to feel safe or comfortable to have orgasms. And if she don't have orgasms, she's not going to be happy within. So as a man, you got to learn what makes her orgasm. And you're going to have to practice. Because maybe you can hit it out the park the first time. But 10 times out of 10, it's hurtful. But the only man that can make her come is her ex-boyfriend. Right? So now you have to more or less contend with this particular energy of her past orgasmic experience. And that's just the reality of it. But it can happen. But these things have to be in the mindset. Like, is she willing to sync with you? Is she willing to say, me and you, see, what am I talking about? When you first have sex with somebody, if it don't shoot off rockets and stars, rainbows, and triggers the deepest orgasm, what you gonna say? Oh, that dick was trash, right? all that pussy was trash. Well, it's supposed to be trash, right? Casual sex is supposed to be trash because it's supposed to wean you away from that shit. Now, if you want to sync up with a person, you got to actually have the conversations. Gonna be brutal conversations, bro. You know you're not pleasing this woman, and now you got to do the shadow work into saying, why are you not being pleased? Why am I not pleasing you? This, that, and the third. And she'll tell you, and it's the truth, and it's okay. Because once she gets it out of her system, that creates the space for new mating and new bonds to create. Now, the problem with this is that you would meet a guy and you would say something like, me and his sex ain't hitting on what it's supposed to be hitting on. Well, no, duh, because you actually have to sync. You actually have to have the conversations in any aspect of life, unless you guys are virgins. None of us are virgins. All of us are hoes. So we need to understand how to bring about happiness, because I'm telling you, you living in this world unhappy. You not happy making money. Even if you got a lot of money, but you still not happy. Listen, it's poor, broke, in destitute conditions, more happier than you because they getting dick down properly. How you can, there's no way you getting dick down properly. You working 8 hours a day. You got to drive to and fro work. You working, it's 2023. So they give you 10 different responsibilities that used to be only taken care of by 10 different people. Now you one person doing 10 things. Work is breaking you down mentally, emotionally. They treating you like a slave. What are you talking about, Kyrie? They treating me like a slave. Because the moment that you get paid, that money is spent. True or not? A large percentage of your paycheck, you need it to pay bills. True or not? So once you get that paycheck and you pay bills, you need that job. You can't quit that job. You can't walk away from that job. That shit is slavery. How are you? And this is what you're prioritizing. People don't give a fuck about spirituality. People prioritize work. People prioritize slavery. And all of these states take you outside of yourself. You can't get no type of zen. You look stupid, but then you also look stupid trying to meditate and your kid's like, Daddy, I'm hungry. Mommy, I'm hungry. So then you have to think, how am I going to transcend all of this bullshit? And it's within yourself. Now, the best thing you can do in this life is get a motherfucking soldier with you that y'all can do sex magic together, right? And y'all can work and cultivate and build and love and deal with this shit together, because that's the only person that's actually going to see you in this world. At work, you just a nigga that come and go. You get fired today. Don't nobody give a fuck. That company still going to exist after your stupid ass get fired. In your social circle, them niggas can ostracize you. Hey, act like them niggas is your friend and then shit on yourself at the fucking Starbucks. Sit at the fucking lunch table and kiki and ha-ha with your friends and shit on yourself accidentally and see how long them niggas would be your motherfucking friend. But you was doing everything for your friends. You sacrificing time and energy for your friends. Everybody, your women, friends in your life are the fucking enemy. Unless these women are helping you achieve multi-orgasmic states. Why is y'all friends and y'all like not into the sex magic? Because the sex magic is the energy that transcends space and time, maintaining that orgasmic connection to the all. Now, one would say, I can do that with my rose. I can do that with my toy. But you got to also understand that there is a light side and a dark side to this thing. This world is operated off duality. Now, the rose can get you an orgasm, but what can the rose not do? The rose cannot help you produce a child. So we're not talking about personal pleasure. God is smarter than your human inventions. You find me a dildo that can create an android baby, a fucking vision out here in these streets, then I'll shut the fuck up and say, damn, I know what I was talking about. You actually don't need a nigga. You can actually have a baby with your dildo. You can actually have a baby with your 9 to 5. You can actually have a baby with your survival techniques that you masquerade as spirituality. Spirituality helping you survive is not spiritual. It is a placebo effect of the worst kind. Because happiness comes from within yourself. But once again, you are following light beings. Pambajira said this: anybody that is in positive energy, anybody that is in light energy, is because they are dark and demented. And they are seeking the light, or they are using the light to fool you. Anybody that explores their darkness are just spiritual beings attempting to be whole. So when you avoid your darkness, you are a person that you are not even a person. Let me know if y'all can hear me. You are not even a real person when you are just on one side of the thing, right? A positive person is a dark person seeking positivity. And when she said that, I said, ooh, that's crazy. Ooh, that's crazy. Ooh, that is crazy. When you do not explore your darkness, you don't even know who you are. You are from the dark. And now you trying to get into the light. You just confused, baby. Now, when you are understanding your darkness, you naturally will explore the light. When you are a light being, you can't just say, I'm a light being. That's the end of the story. As a light being, you don't know shit, so you got to understand yourself through your darkness. Now, this gonna go over motherfuckers' heads because everybody is seeking happiness in the facade, in the exterior, and you'll never find it. It's nothing you can do. You might as well stop trying so hard to find happiness and get into a meditative state. Now we're opening up Chakra Nova, right? We're opening up the school. We're doing every month information and instruction. Every week we doing tune-ups on Sunday. We bringing into meditation. We have to, you need to understand your chakras because you need to be happy. Your chakras are within yourself. You need to activate them shit. You need to tune into yourself to find happiness. I cannot lead you to happiness. You have to actually put your motherfucking pussy in it. You got to be committed to it, or you going to say, well, I'm going to just chase the shit. I'm going to look for it in other areas other than myself. There is no such thing as a light being. There is no such thing as people of the light. We are ignorant as fuck to this shit. Ignorant as hell. We all need to sit with ourselves and figure out how the fuck we gonna be happy. And the only way we going to sit with ourselves is through the mantra and meditation and the high frequency of certain mental states, theta, gamma states, to which we traverse the inner workings of ourselves and get a clear understanding of who we are. And not just there, we understand it through the power of the orgasm. Once again, she told me, she was like, yeah, and the reason why you should tell the young women, if they haven't had sex, to never have it until they get married, right? But if they do, the reasons why shit get crazy is because you're not fuckable in your relationship. Yeah, you might be lovable. Yeah, you maybe be likable, but you stop being fuckable. In relationships, women get comfortable in a relationship and they don't give a fuck about being fuckable in that relationship. And the only reason they don't give a fuck about being fuckable is because they can obviously get dick from anywhere they want to get dick from. Right? If you knew you could never get no dick from no other man and the rest of your life was tied to this man giving you some dick, then maybe you would be more fuckable. But if you can take dick or leave dick, you can give this nigga your ass to kiss. You can tell him, well, I feel like this and I feel like that. And that's just the end of the story. But why should a woman be fuckable in a relationship? Because being fuckable is the only way to reach orgasmic states of consciousness, to which is the only way that you can connect to the fucking timelines. And you could talk about some other shit, doing some other ways, and I bet you it's a price tag on it. I bet you it's a price tag attached to anything that a nigga gotta tell you in reference to reaching a certain level of nirvana or whatever the fuck. Man, niggas will scam you and scam you for no reason. Niggas will just say, at a certain point, I feel like niggas, spiritual women, spiritual people in general, they should just take donations. Cause they ain't giving you shit, right? They can play like they giving you shit, but at the end of the day, these niggas is just taking donations. They just taking tithes, right? They just like the fucking preachers, right? Cause at the end of the day, if you not get an orgasm with your long-term partner, should be free. And the work that you need to take, listen, there's a certain level in relationships where you can bring out the desire in a man. And there's certain levels within a relationship where you could just take advantage of the fact that you got a nigga. That only comes from dealing with previous niggas. Cause the nigga that's in front of you right now is the nigga that broke your heart. And now you have an opportunity to tell the nigga that broke your heart about himself. The fucked up part about this shit is that the nigga in front of you is not the nigga that broke your heart. To which you should always marry the first man that you had sex with and just keep it official. Keep it a buck. Tell your daughters this. She not gonna listen, but at least plant the seed. Maybe your granddaughter or great-granddaughter might understand what the fuck is being done in this world. Cause it's not like it's so much shit going on that nothing is going on if you really think about it. If you observe the world, yeah, maybe in your little bubble, shit is really important. But if you remove yourself from your bubble, the shit that is important in that bubble is not important outside of the bubble. So I would ask you, why the fuck is it important to be in a bubble where niggas is putting important shit on shit that's not important? Listen, if you work out, take care of yourself, take care of your skin, drink water, be sweet, sensual, sexual, listen, Pambagera said it's not even about being attractive. It has zero to do with being attractive. It has everything to do with being fuckable. And being fuckable is a state of mind. It's an energy that allows a woman to reach orgasmic states, being able to talk to God, and all she got to do is be sweet and kind to her nigga. But hey, if a nigga gave you $1 million, listen, in real life, you could actually, and motherfuckers be broke, right? You could be like, hey, here go $1 million. Be nice to that nigga. Motherfuckers are divorced. Like, in a woman's mind, bro, you are a bad motherfucking dude, bro. You are a bad dude. It ain't no money, ain't nothing. Only thing it's nothing that you could do in a relationship, because what has been conditioned and fed to a majority is that happiness comes on the outside. Happiness comes from the external. So you as a man is her tool to become happy. But the reality is happiness comes from within. The whole life could be contributed to cultivating happiness from within, to whereas you get into a relationship and this is all that there is. Two people sourcing happiness from within themselves. But in this day and age, none of y'all is experiencing that. Everything is conditional. Everything is on this fucking like a fucking thread. You say the wrong thing, the relationship is over. It's nothing that's binding people together. People breaking up with people, it don't even matter. And the only problem with it is that nobody is actually happy. Because when we talk about sex, when we talk about spirituality, it's like talking about apples and oranges. But the reality is both the fruit that we need to survive. We need to be able to, as individuals, tune into ourselves. As couples, develop strong bonds. These bonds allow for the dualistic charge that allows a union or one person, masculine and feminine, to talk to God. And it's not, and it's crazy that I'm saying it, and I know motherfuckers have not agree with nothing that I'm saying, but once again, the shit that you feel and know in reference to the Matrix, it's not even working. It's not working. I can guarantee you it's not working. I know it's not working. Because I understand the channel. I understand what I've been shown. Happiness comes from within. There's no argument with that. Feeling good, you can't fake feeling good. Especially as an adult. You would think that having money, you have been sold this, and motherfuckers got money. All it do is get you a motherfucking prison called a house. Why do you think motherfuckers get a mortgage? And a mortgage, mort is etymology death. It's a certificate for, it's a death certificate. Your house is your prison. Now everybody got a house, everybody got a car. These is high ticketed items, good enough to keep you in the fucking Matrix for a long ass time. And it's all good. I'm only saying the truth. So at the end of the day, a motherfucker can stop and understand that if I want to be happy, I can be happy in this moment. But then if you say I'm going to be happy in this moment, you have to develop a spiritual protocol about yourself. You have to cut off your desires. Because if it's any desire that you have, you cannot be happy because you don't have the desire. If you had the desire, it wouldn't be a desire. Every desire that you have, and trust me, a spiritual person and a spiritual scammer is going to exacerbate your desires. They're going to tell you that you can have anything that you want. And they're going to give you a 12-step program to get everything that you want. And the only issue is you're going to get what you want if you get what you want, but it's not going to satisfy you. And then you're going to continue to be mad at everybody else, and you never even going to understand that the whole time you never needed a 12-step program. You needed to really tune into yourself and remove all of these things that you think you need and actually you don't actually need. This is where we get into meditation, mantras, music, going within, psychedelics. This is where we have these types of conversations to allow people to transcend this matrix, go deep within themselves, get the answers that they need to then do the things that their soul wants them to do and be in that alignment at all times. That is happiness. If you don't know what your soul wants you to do, how the fuck are you happy? Your soul don't give a fuck if you go on a vacation or not. Why? Because a vacation is fucking temporary. The name of vacation is temporary. Why the fuck do your soul say if you go somewhere for 3 days, bitch, you are magically going to be happy? But you would sit here and say, I really need a vacation. I really need to get away. Get away from what? Get away from your responsibilities? How about you face your responsibilities, feel good about your responsibilities, take care of your responsibilities, and then, get into the energy. Whatever you dealing with, whatever you face with, whatever you going through, whatever situation is not an excuse not to feel good. It's just not. If you want to feel good, you can feel good because you are the living God. But you don't give a fuck about you being the living God because you don't actually give a fuck about spirituality. You want to buy spirituality. You want to purchase spirituality. Think about that. Purchasing spirituality. It's not to be purchased. It's not to be bought. What it is a consistency and an understanding that this is the key to my true happiness. Intuition, insight. This is happiness. This is joy. Being at peace, being free from desires, not saying, oh my God, I need to XYZ. Oh my God, I want XYZ. Because the reality is we're not always going to get what we want, but we always have ourselves. You never are without yourself. So if you tune into self consistently, without fail, the solutions will come. The joy will come. But the issue, the problem, the problem that we're addressing in this video is that in this day and age, people have it dead set in their mind that if they accomplish a thing, that they'll be happy. But the reality is you need to begin to look in the mirror and look at yourself as a sexy, fuckable person, right? If you're not fuckable in the deepest way in a long-term relationship, see, a lot of y'all want a man, but you sad as fuck. And then when the situation occurs, you got a man, and guess what? Guess what the man is not going to do? The man is not going to remove your sadness. The man is not going to remove your depression. The man is not going to remove your emotional shit. The man is not going to remove your inability to manage your finances. The man ain't going to do shit but what a man going to do, right? If all of these things apply, or some of these things apply, this is why spirituality is the king. To which the job and the nigga, it just confuses and exacerbates things and moves you further away from yourself. Because you got to wake up and do, wake up and act. And trust me, it's not a call to quit your job. But it's to say, when I'm at my job, I'm tuned into myself. I'm not letting the external bring me down. I'm not letting life lower my vibration. Because there are going to be a lot of things that scare you. And if you fixate on the external things that's going to scare you, you're going to miss the play. You're going to miss the pivot. You're going to miss the insight of spirit saying, the reason that I took this away is so you could get this over here. But if you fixated on, this was the thing that was going to make me happy, and now this is the thing that I'm losing. Oh, now I'm depressed. You just a lost ass bitch out here, because none of this shit is yours. The only thing you got is your body. And motherfuckers is 2023 not even fucking going to the gym, not even going to work out. What's the reason? I'm even in the gym. I'm in the gym as much as I can. If your body not together, why you not doing what you eat? What you eating in 2023? Can't be smoking all the time. Everything, you got to actually look at yourself and say, this is the only thing I truly have is my body. Why the fuck I'm working so hard, doing all of this shit, but I'm not even taking care of my vessel? So, yeah, shit, motherfuckers want you to just be like, love it. Like, I can't expect, like, I got real life goals, so I can't expect anybody to love me until I reach my goals. Because me reaching my goals is my sign. Like, I'm following my intuition. I'm following my path. Right? I can't say that anybody is going to help me or nothing. I got to really get into the space of intuition, insight, following that. Now, if I do the things that my spirit tells me to do, that's happiness for me. The only thing now, at this point in my life, is when people try to stand in between that. But it's simple. Your soul give you instructions on what to do every day. But the problem is men be in relationships with women who are not virgins, who don't love them like they supposed to love them. So it's easy for a woman to throw you off course because she don't actually love you. She compares you and contrasts you. She projects. She does a lot of shit. She views you as her key to happiness, right? It's a lot of shit that goes on where motherfuckers like it's, you would think that if you do this and you do that, then a person gonna be happy. But when you operate and act and move in that way and a person's still not happy, then you gotta come back and talk to me. Hey, it don't matter. Whatever you do, I'm not saying that I'm the type of man that do everything. But it's a reason that I don't do everything, because even if I was to do everything, I know that it's not good enough. Because why is it not good enough? Because all happiness comes from within. There is no special niggas. If I'm in a relationship and I'm doing the most for a woman, the only thing that's happening is my ego is getting inflated. No, she's not falling in love with me. If that was the case, there wouldn't be no such thing as a simp. What's a simp? A simp is just a dude that do a lot for a woman. Well, a simp is not a term of endearment. A woman never said, "Ooh, I want a simp." But she will say, "I want a man that take care of her." Why do these two things exist? Because happiness comes from within. You could do everything for a woman, and it's not, you could do everything for a man. Don't get it twisted. Pleasing your man is not going to bring you happiness. Pleasing yourself, following with your soul, because it'll get to a point where you say, well, maybe you have to deal with your soul, because maybe I'm not even a nigga that your soul wants you to be with right now. You need to deal with yourself, because if a person looking at you, twisting their face up, giving you middle fingers, saying fuck you and all of this shit, you gotta ask, what's the source of that? Because when you start to internalize and say it's my fault, then you are disconnected from your source. And it's a lot of men who feel like they're not living to their potentials only because they love a person who using them for happiness. And it's never a point in no relationship across the board where a nigga was made to make somebody happy. We are all made, all 9 billion of us, to make our own motherfucking selves happy. When we bring that energy into a relationship, maybe we can be successful. But until then, you wanting happiness out of this relationship through different conditions and circumstances, it becomes shitty. My thing with my relationships is spiritual development, making sure that my partner is tuned in to her soul. Because if she is tuned in to her soul and she conflates, if she deals with her soul and her soul is bringing her peace and I'm a part of that peace, then we're at peace. That's it. That's it. And we also got to have communication. We have to have communication because orgasms is a must. And I know initially we're not in sync because you know what I'm saying? It's easy for a woman to have sex. And trust me, sometimes I know y'all hit the lottery, right? Y'all can have a casual sex partner and he fucked the shit out of you, right? But the problem is he not a good long-term partner. Or maybe he is. But you wouldn't know that because it's a good little toxic little situation you like. And it could be the secrecy of it, the sneakiness of it. See, a lot of women, they angels, so it's a certain level of understanding that, you know, you got to understand about this game. Trust me, you go into a relationship thinking that you're going to fuck the shit out of a girl and she's never, that's not even a reality. So that's scary to a man, right? To know, like, you could have sex with a woman and she look at you as a subpar sexual partner. But that's not the end of the story. That should be expected. But what's the solution? Communication. What are the type of things that you like? You know what I'm saying? You could be, this is real. If it's kids, you know what I'm saying? No kids should be listening to my content anyway. But I'm going to just say this. You could be licking on some pussy like this. Right? And she be like, no, I like that shit up and down. Like, go slow, right? Go slow, you know? But your last girl, she like the fast tongue movement. So a nigga get into some pussy, he not going to ask the woman, hey, how do you like your pussy ate? right? He's just gonna do his technique that worked on the last girl. You can't do that. You cannot do that. You gotta communicate thoroughly. How you like this thing? Hey, I got a little trick that I do. You want me to try my trick and see if you like my trick? Or you don't like my trick? Well, what we gonna do? Oh, you want me to lick the gooch? I don't care. You want me to toss the salad, girl? I don't care. We can do that. All you gotta do is have a conversation. Have the conversation. You have the conversation, guess what happens? The sex improves. The sex get better over time. The orgasms happen. So, like I said, I understand none of us is virgins. But just because we not virgins don't mean we don't have to have the conversations. And then, a lot of times, man, a lot of y'all be cheating, right? Women be cheating. It's 2023, y'all be cheating. So that's what I'm just saying. You might have a nigga who ain't doing it the right way, and sex is an easy access to you, so you can get a nigga, cause niggas will tag you out, right? If it's accommodating with their schedule. So you got your Friday night. I know the good girls like, what is you talking about? But trust me, it's some hoes that listen to my content. Ladies, there's some hoes that listen to my content. Ladies, there's some girls. Listen, I am a Pombajira channel. Pombajira attracts the hoes, okay? So sometimes I'll be talking to the hoes, lady. Don't mean you a hoe. Some of y'all got a nigga that y'all deal with on Fridays, right? Y'all Friday nigga, because Friday is his day. He got a day off, right? He kick it with his kids. Then he drop his kids off at his mama house, right? And then from 10 to 3, right? You come up with an excuse to tell your nigga, right? All of a sudden you got to work a double shift because you a nurse, right? I got to work a double shift on Friday, right? You at the fucking Country Inn Suites, get your fucking back blew out, right? Every fucking Friday. Perfectly cool. But the nigga that's paying the bills, holding it down, you not able to bond with him in real life. So you gonna have to make a decision. If we talking about happiness, right? Happiness. You can stop dealing with the nigga altogether that's paying the bills. And like, shit, a lot of times, I'm gonna just say this and I'm gonna end the video. Sometimes you just need to be good to the nigga that's fucking you good, right? Just if you got into a place, right, in life where you having sex with a man and the sex is good, but he got red flags, blue flags, orange flags, he got all of the flags, that's on you. You might as well take that L. Why am I saying that? Because you already let him smash. If it was a matter of red flags and things that's going to pull you away from the nigga, when should you have figured that out? Before you gave him the guts. You done already gave him the guts, and his good sex, he might not be what you want him to be, but he obviously is what you want him to be. So maybe he got another girl or whatever. You just gonna be his side bitch or some shit like that. It's better to be a side bitch to a nigga that's fucking you good rather than to be a mainstay for a nigga that you hate sexually. Because we talking about the ability to have orgasms and be happy. Now, because you're not a virgin and you already experience what you need to experience that orgasmic bliss, and you still have access to this man, but he just not the man you need him to be 360 degrees, Pombajira said you should have thought about that in the first place. Don't fuck and then come to deep insights. The deep insight happens way before you pull your pennies down. Because we can get into more mysteries on how to use and manipulate sex to get any and everything that you want. But if y'all don't understand how to engage in sexual relationships, then the conversation just is for no, right? If you don't even know how to communicate, like, you know, it's got to be a certain baseline. So what we going to do, talk about the root chakra. We're going to go through the sacral chakra, all of the chakras over these next 7 months. Every week, we're going to tune it up, and we're going to relate it to Tantra. We're going to relate it to sexual practices, different techniques, different exercises, so you can become fuckable, right? And if you don't want to be fuckable, you don't want to be soft and gentle and relatable to men, then fine, right? Get with your sister wives, get with your sister girlfriends. Y'all can throw on strap-ons or scissor and do all of the cool shit that y'all do. But if you trying to understand, you know what I'm saying, the light and dark of this shit, the masculine and feminine polarity of this shit, and you ain't trying to avoid it, you'll tune in and tap in with me. Me and Racine, we gonna be doing it. Like I said, it's gonna be information and instruction and meditation, okay? And from there, we gonna rock out with our cocks out, no pun intended. Chakra Nova, we back in business. The School of Sexual Science, back in business. And yeah, we gonna go like that. So I see y'all on the flip side. And yeah, I'll see y'all. Peace.